Hello foodie friends. So I was gonna wear a really festive Christmas sweater, but today turned out to be 70 degrees. Also, you may hear thunder and pounding rain periodically on the tin roof and possibly some high winds because it's really dark outside and a storm is coming. I can actually hear the rain pounding on the roof right now. So let's keep our fingers crossed that the electricity stays on long enough for me to make this candy. So today we're gonna do, again, something very simple and something very giftable that is not going to cost you a lot of money. Now these particular candies, these Haystack candies, have been done on YouTube and on blogs and stuff like that, but I wanted to share them and possibly do a little bit of something different, like combining some of our flavors and doing some white chocolate. I've got plenty of sprinkles and some candy that we're gonna use, but I really wanted to give you just the idea of a simple vintage candy that still tastes really good. People really enjoy it, and it makes a really cool gift, especially if you put it in some of the containers that I'm going to be putting them into. And if any of you in the comments section have any favorite simple vintage candies that you've made in the past, go ahead and share that in the comment section below. I always love to see all kinds of Christmas traditions that other people have. Oh, and before I forget, the contest that we ran for the Downton Abbey cookbook and the Titanic cookbook is over, and the winners have been contacted. As of filming today, I have not heard back from them, but I didn't contact them until last night because that was when, you know, the contest officially ended. But I just wanted to thank all of you for participating. I love doing things like this. It was a lot of fun to see how many of you signed up and for which cookbook, and we will be doing some more in the future. I do have some cookbooks that I have in mind that I'm going to line up for those. So thank you for that. And now let's go ahead and get started. Fixing to get a bad storm, so I'm going to come out here real quick and try to find some decorations. I have this really pretty bush that's got these really nice bright red berries on it. So I'm going to try to take a small piece of them that'll leave most of them intact. I just want like a little bit. There's more on the back of the bush. I think I'm going to try and take just the tip of this one right here. Now I do have this big cypress in the backyard, so I'm gonna take maybe just a little bit, maybe like a leaf or two, and I think that'll be enough for a jar. I actually think that'll do real nice. Okay, we've got our decorations for one of the jars at least. So let's hurry up and go back inside because I just saw a flock of birds running away. So they know something's coming, and I think that's a sign for me to get back inside. I decided to do something a little bit different. So you need roughly a 1-to-2 ratio to make this candy, which means 1 part chocolate or whatever you're using to 2 parts chow mein. I'm going to go ahead and do 3 batches of this candy because each bag has roughly 6 cups, and I have 2 bags, so I can get 3 batches. Which means I'll need to add 2 cups of whatever I'm using to each of the 4 cups that I use. I decide, now traditionally, my grandmother and my mom always took the butterscotch and the chocolate and combined them. So I'll do 1 cup butterscotch to 1 cup of this chocolate for 1 batch. Now I can't have
chocolate. Sometimes I sneak a little bit, but I'm not really supposed to have that. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 cups for the second batch with this white chocolate, but then I got an idea. I don't know how this is going to go, and I don't know how it's going to taste, but I substitute carob for chocolate just because I can have carob, because carob doesn't have caffeine in it. I think I'm going to try to combine the carob with the butterscotch for the third batch and see how that tastes. I actually think it might be pretty good, especially if you put some sprinkles on it. You might not ever know. So I own way too many sprinkles. I'm going to use them for this to try to use up some of them. I've got some blue and silver, and then I've also got the traditional red and green, so we'll be making a few different designs. But I also have these peppermint candies that I thought would be fun to crush up and put on the white chocolate. So I've got to get to crushing. I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll start melting our chocolates. And I almost forgot to tell you this part, but you can also add peanuts. I would recommend the dry roasted and salted. And I would start with a half a cup to the 4 cups of chow mein, and then go from there. If it doesn't seem like enough to you, go ahead and add a little bit more. So these are kind of like Rice Krispie treats. You really want to work fast before your chocolate starts to harden. And so I've got Mitch over here. He's scooping out for all it's worth. And then I'm going to come in behind him and I'm going to use our sprinkles. These are done and decorated. Now bear in mind, this is not exactly traditional to put sprinkles on them, so you do not have to do this step if you don't want to, but you know, I've got so many, I thought I might as well just go ahead and have any excuse to use them. Now these are gonna go in the refrigerator to finish setting, and in the meantime, we'll go ahead and wash all of our dishes and start our second batch. And second batch of crazy decorated haystacks are ready for the refrigerator, and then we can, somehow we actually ended up with more of the white chocolate than the milk chocolate, so our measuring isn't that exact, but it doesn't have to be, it's just a haystack. But we'll go ahead and get these in the refrigerator, and then we're gonna start on our third batch with our carob. Now, just so you know, the microwave method for the white chocolate worked beautifully, and it only took maybe about a minute. I was doing the microwave at 20 to 30 seconds at a time, and they melted perfect. I don't know if carob will melt in the microwave, so I may go ahead and do that stove method again, but I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna see if I can cheat with the microwave. So as usual, the internet was contradictory in its advice and instructions for melting carob. As you can see, I tried a little bit in the microwave, and I think it got past the stage where it's pourable. It doesn't seem, obviously it's not acting exactly like chocolate. So I might actually try some over the double broiler with the butterscotch and see if the butterscotch might actually help make this a little more pourable. I think some of the problems people were having is they were using pure carob, whereas this one you can see actually has an emulsifier in it, so it didn't have too bad of a problem, but it's simply not enough to actually pour on our chow mein. So let's experiment again. This is the carob and butterscotch. It's melting pretty good. I actually think that might be at a mixable stage, but we ended up having to add some grapeseed oil to actually make it pourable. Now, I just added a little bit at a time, probably, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon at a time, and I had to do it several times, probably about 3 or 4 times. But, you know, that probably just depends on how much you have in your pot. So just add a little bit at a time, mix it really, really well before you decide you may need more, because you might make it a little too runny. I don't know. But we're gonna keep working with it, throw it onto our chow mein, and we're just gonna see what happens. We've got it in the bowl, and Mitch is mixing like crazy because we really don't know how long we have before it's going to be completely unmixable. So far, so good. The oil is helping. I think this might actually be a win. And carob batch is ready. It was surprisingly easy to work with. It scooped out really easy to put on the trays, and it still gave us enough time to put sprinkles on it before it actually started setting. So, and surprisingly, it was easier to work with than the white chocolate. So I would call this a win. Our carob candy is still in the refrigerator, getting nice and solidified, but I thought this would be a fun time to show you what I'm actually going to put these candies in. Now, I'm sure you've seen these everywhere. Dollar Tree, Walmart, Target, just everybody has these little jars. But one of the reasons why I don't like them is because they're obviously single use. Now, you could save them for the next year and maybe re-gift them, but, you know, that's you having to store them and, you know, wash them out. And sometimes it's just not worth it, especially since these usually only cost a couple dollars. So the thinking is you can kind of get rid of this and not have to keep it or store it, and then just buy another one for a couple dollars next year. But that's not really sustainable, and I actually don't really enjoy receiving these as a gift because, number one, I feel bad about throwing it out. We don't have the best recycling centers here in Greene County, but it is so obviously Christmas. What do you do with it throughout the year? So what I'm going to do is put the candies in various jars. I think these are perfect. This is actually my favorite one. I love the little detail on the side here. I like this one because it's got like the old-fashioned style clamp lid, even though it's got like this little rubber here, so it'll keep things nice and dry. And then this one is really pretty. Look at that color. And I like this little design on it right here. Not sure what that means. I don't think, oh, 1 kilogram. There we go. But I really like the design of this one, and I'm going to put the candies in these and then going to decorate just a couple of them. This you saw me get out of the yard earlier. I'm going to use this rustic gardening twine to put it on the jar. I've got this really pretty wire that I got from Dollar Tree, and I thought it'd be kind of cute maybe to pair it with a little ornament. I've got a vintage ornament. By the way, I actually pulled these off of my Christmas tree just a couple minutes ago, but I think it'd be really cute to have like a little hanging decoration off of them. That way they have the candy they can eat, and they also have a reusable jar that they can use all throughout the year. So they can refill it with candy, use it for other food storage, sewing notions, craft supplies, or seashells and sea glass that you might get on your vacations. And then with the little ornaments, they actually have something they can use and put on their tree year after year to remind them of you. Look how cute these turned out. It actually came out better than I expected because I am not a decorator, as you guys know, but I'm sure some of you out there could just really decorate these jars. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I just kind of tied some of them on loosely because they will be going back onto my tree after this video is done. So I didn't want to glue or tack down anything like that. But you can see you can put a mix and match. You can do all one kind. And the mason jar, I've got actually all three kinds in that one, and they turned out perfect. So I am so happy with these, and the people I'm going to give them to, I think will absolutely love them. And they've got a really cool jar that they can decorate with after all that candy is eaten.
Now, we didn't want to end the video without taste testing these Carob ones, right? So let's go ahead. Do you want a full one?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see,
I'm gonna take this little one, I think. Okay, ready?
Cheers. You're losing pieces.
You know what's really interesting about this too is I think you could safely leave out the butterscotch if you wanted to.
Yeah,
but,
let's do carob.
Yeah, but the butterscotch really adds some good flavor to the carob. And I know that sometimes people turn to carob, or at least they were when I was working in the health food stores, that they turn to carob because they can't have chocolate because of caffeine, or sometimes chocolate can cause severe migraines.
Yeah.
And so, you turn to carob because that's kind of your only alternative besides like a white chocolate or something like that. Right. But you feel deprived because carob is not chocolate, right? Like it does not taste
like chocolate.
No, and it doesn't taste like chocolate. Like you have to do work to it if you want it to taste, kind of like a dessert, like you're really craving for. But this, I feel like I'm eating chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like deprived at all.
No, I mean, it's just as good as I did sneak a little piece of the real chocolate one. And it does taste very comparable. Yeah. Now, I know that's probably the butterscotch helping to add,
kind of blend them.
Yeah, add another layer of flavor to it. So there you go. I'm really excited. If you guys can't have chocolate for whatever reason, but you really want a Haystack Christmas candy, you have an alternative there that you can, go to and not feel like you're missing out.
Yeah.
Now, for next week, we're actually taking a break. This man has worked hard in the kitchen. No. Really. No, he's actually worked really hard. He just graduated with another bachelor's degree in computer science. So that's really cool. We're really excited about that. But this Christmas, we decided to go ahead and take a week off because the schoolwork was pretty grueling.
Yeah,
right.
And working full time.
Right, and it took a lot of time. Yeah. So we're gonna take this Christmas and we're just gonna relax because he doesn't have to do anything now in terms of like schoolwork and that kind of thing. So we're just kind of gonna enjoy not having to do that. Yeah. But we're gonna come back with an oddball in January because I found a guy on TikTok, and I will explain all about it in the first episode in January. But I found this guy on TikTok. I like to follow a lot of cooking creators on that social network. This guy takes $5, walks into a Dollar Tree, comes out with a complete meal, cooks it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It's a complete dinner, and it only costs $2.50 per person. So he feeds 2 people on $5. So stick around for that. It's going to be extreme budgeting in January to see if we can pull that off. So thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Take some time off for yourself and just absolutely be kind to yourself. And if you want to, just take a day for reading. Drink some hot tea. Just have a nice, relaxing Christmas this year. So thank you for watching this week, and we will see you next year. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.